Welcome, B.A.M family. This is Cherie. I'm here with EntrepreHero Exclusives. And today we have someone I'm really excited to talk to. Of course, a Black-owned business, a B.O.B, an entrepreneur, if you will. Miss Naomi Tucker. She is strongly rooted in her faith. She's supported by family. She's trusted by friends. It sounds like someone you really want to get to know. She's passionate about helping organizations put their best strategic step forward when it comes to their meetings and events. She has been in the meetings and events industry for more than 20 years. So, Miss Naomi Tucker, welcome, welcome. It's really good to have you here. I'm really excited to talk to you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you, Cherie. I'm excited on what you have in store for me today.
I have some really good questions. First, I want to tell you that um, when I was looking around and just kind of stalking you and figuring out what things that you were into, what did you like, I came across that you played the flute.
Yes, I
How
did.
many years?
Um, Ever since I was uh, for a really long time, since
Hmm.
I was 9 years old. So
Me
yeah,
too. Third grade.
yes.
That's what,
Uh,
fifth grade, fourth grade. I was in third grade, started the flute. I
Oh,
played the flute when I was in third grade at a gifted and talented school in Michigan.
nice. We
And
had
you
that in
sing.
how fun.
You sing, right?
I sing too. Yes.
I sing too. Went for college. Went for vocal music.
Nice.
Um,
Yep.
so I was like, we have stuff in
We have
common.
in common. I don't do it as much as I thought I would, but I really enjoyed it and still do the singing today and
Yes.
still play with my daughters. They now play other instruments. So we do duets and trios in our house. So we're
Oh,
a musical house.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. We're a musical house. I do not play the flute any longer. I stopped that when I was in high school. But college went on with college with the singing and stuff like that. So that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I know this has nothing to do with Black-owned business, but I just have to ask. So what prompted you to want to play the flute? Was it that you were interested in the instrument or something else?
Raising us. My dad was in my life, but she was
Yeah,
limited on some resources. So the flute is what it was because it
the
was
flute.
probably the most inexpensive investment that she could make. But it carried me all the way through college. I still play now. I played in um, orchestras, chamber orchestras.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a good investment that my mom made.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I wish, yeah, I wish I had kept with the flute, but my choice of playing the flute, it was really odd how I came to choose the flute. I was, again, third grade, and we were in this gifted and talent school, and they're like, you have to learn how to play an instrument. And my mother had played the saxophone. So that's what I wanted to play, but they were showing videos of these instruments. Okay, this is going to really make you laugh, but there was this. So back then, my lips were a lot bigger for my head than they are now. I had really full lips and, a small little, I was a little kid. So my lips were huge.
Growing.
And I always got teased about my lips. And so they showed this video of this white lady playing the flute, and she blew into the flute, and Naomi, her lips disappeared.
Right.
And I was
So
like, I was like, her lips disappeared. Why? Because you have to push your lips when
mm,
you're blowing
okay.
on the flute, and so that's what prompted me to choose the flute
You're like,
because I wanted my lips to be smaller.
this could help me, mom.
Oh my goodness, the things you do. I was again third grade. People don't judge. Okay, so all right, Naomi. So tell us about your business. Tell us about Planners on Purpose. What got you into doing that?
So planners on purpose is it's a journey. It's a journey of over it has to be over a decade easily. It did not start off as planners on purpose. Um, it was fireside chat for meeting professionals at one point, and then it went to planet on a post-it. Uh, and that's what I recently had. And just at the top of the year, I switched to Planners on Purpose. So what Planners on Purpose is it's dedicated to event professionals
Okay.
to help them live more purposeful lives. there's a gap between when event planners go to meetings and conferences that help them with what they have to do on a professional level, but them implementing it
Uh-huh.
and going through so much stress. There's so much stress with planning events and marketing events that I wanted to meet them in the middle with helping them with all of that. So that's what I do at Planners on Purpose. So I have coaching, I have courses, and just really coming alongside the event professional and helping them out as they are planning their events. So that's
Oh,
what I do.
cool.
Yeah.
I've never had more just admiration for what you do now. Meeting the, in the middle. That's something that's sorely needed. How did you get started? I mean, you've been in this industry for what, 25 years now? Is it 25?
Over 25
Wow.
years. I
Oh
know.
my goodness.
It's a really long time. I think again it came down to money.
Hmm.
It came down to the fact that I was going through college, and like most, I would say a majority of probably like Black people, it's hard to have the resources to go to college and have everything paid for, right, for you. So for me, I had to work a little bit and pay my way through college. So I got a job at the Hyatt Regency in the
Oh.
Milwaukee area, and
Hmm.
that's where I first started. So I enjoyed hospitality. I worked pretty much within 6 months of me going there. I was
Uh-huh.
already in the catering office and really working with the events and the conferences. So, and from there, I went to different other organizations. So I went to work at a third party agency, which does meetings and events for other companies. And
Hmm.
then I also ended up going to a corporate office where I was a event planner,
Hmm.
supervised people. And so really my whole life became doing meetings and events. So now I work as an account director also at meetings and incentives. And then I'm also doing planners on purpose.
Wow. So you were the person to call. You have the experience. You know
I
what you're
have a
talking
lot of
about when it
meetings
comes
under
to
my belt.
planning events.
I have a lot under my belt when it comes to
Yes.
events. And I just love what I do. So I love
And
just putting on experiences for people.
so did you go to school for that? Did you go to school for hospitality?
So no, I was going to school for music because we talked a little bit about
Hmm.
music part. So I was really passionate about music. I was going to school for music performance, and
Yeah.
because I had to, take that chance of, hey, I need to pay my way through college.
Right.
That's how I got into hospitality. But I ended up getting my bachelor in marketing. So
That's so
it's aligned
cool.
closely to the event.
Yeah. How our paths just kind of change
Hmm.
and wind the way that,
Hmm.
it just takes us different places that we would never expect. So what, we talk about with Black owned businesses, money is a big obstacle when it comes to starting your business. Is that what you found for starting your business, or what was your biggest obstacle when it came to starting your business?
Well, I definitely think money is a very big obstacle to starting a business. And the fact of, am I really going to make it in this business is also something that um, always went through my mind.
Hmm.
I think sometimes with people that they're aware of the struggles, right, that come with owning a business and you're Black, you know that there are going to be some challenges that are
Right.
going to be coming along my way. And am I really ready for those challenges? Or do I just want to stay, where I am, just making
Right.
it be a hobby? And that's what was a little bit of my biggest obstacle was the mindset of saying, yes, I can do this. And I'm aware of those challenges that might come, but you know what? That's not going to stop me because my purpose is bigger than what those obstacles are.
Right.
Mhm.
And so just to delve a little bit deeper in that answer. So you were saying that the obstacles that come with being a Black entrepreneur, being a Black owned business. What
Mhm.
did you foresee? What did
So,
you foresee those obstacles being, right? And what was causing that hesitancy and moving from being, hey, this is something that I kind of do on the side, to no, this is my business and I'm worth the money that you're going to pay me to do my business, to do my job.
I feel like for me, sometimes the obstacle, delving deeper into that, is you being the face. When you're an entrepreneur,
Hmm.
sometimes you have to be the face of your business. And sometimes you know that when people see your face and you have that brown skin, that they're going to be a little bit more hesitant and they're going to exercise caution with them receiving goods from you. They
Mhm.
want to make sure that they trust you.
Right.
And sometimes that comes with being even more visible in your business so that they can trust you, that they can um,
Right.
enjoy what you're putting in, the value that you're bringing to them. So for me, it was like, man, I know that in the corporate world and even where I work now, I probably have to work twice as hard in order to um, just be normalized with everyone else. Um, and so, do I want to do that in my business? Do I want to be working twice as hard as anyone else? Because Susie over here can just say that she has a business, post to her Facebook friends, and all of a sudden she's like
Yeah.
blowing up. She
Swamped
has
with leads.
and everything else. But I think for us, it's a little different, and that's multifaceted, right? It could be just the support that we receive from other business owners who are like us,
Hmm.
right? The visibility and just that trust factor as a whole of Black people, that people aren't really trustworthy
Yeah.
of us and the products that we have to offer, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Were there any surprises, as in the obstacles that you foresaw? Were there any surprises as them not being as hard to overcome as you initially thought? Hmm.
Yeah. Um, no, I personally am not one that likes to be truly visible a lot. Even when I was going back to like my flute days, things like that,
Hmm.
I love orchestras because I like being part of the full, right, that full symphony or that full piece of music.
Right.
So I'm always one that likes to blend in. So for me, it's always having to come out of my shell a little bit is
Right.
where I saw that's a little bit more difficult, or, you know, that I would have to struggle with for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely get that. Wanting to stay behind the scenes, being the magic behind the curtain, right? And
A
making
little
things happen. Right, right. Definitely. I definitely feel you on that. Um, when I was doing my cyber snooping and looking at things and that I want to talk to you about, I did see something. You stated on your site that you have the secret to creating a simple life. Um, and I know a lot of uh, Black women, because we make up the most when it comes to Black owned businesses. We are predominantly Black women, Black owned businesses, and productivity, time management, all of that. When you talk about simple, that doesn't compute. What is simple? What is? So you say you have the secret to simple life. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, for sure. So for me, it's really comes down to, 4 to 5 things. And it's really a framework that I teach in a lot of my courses. And it's really being aware of everything that you have on the table and that you're limited to the things that you say yes to, right?
Hmm.
Um, and when you're aware of that, then you know that you can make purposeful steps towards the joy that you seek. So if I know I want to spend a majority, time with my kids every day, I need to spend a certain part, get a project done for work this week, and those are the things that I need to do, then I just need to focus on those two things because everything else really doesn't matter, or it can take a back seat.
Hmm.
So what I really teach is just really trying to simplify your life by being intentional about
Yeah.
and the choices that you make on what you're bringing into your life. And a lot of them can add up, right? You can say, oh, yes, I'll do that project, or I'll go speak at that workshop, or I'll create that for you. But some of that just builds up. And if you're not careful, it can get overwhelming and it can get stressful.
Yeah.
So the quickest thing is really just eliminating the unnecessary in your life, writing everything down on paper, seeing where the unnecessary things are, and really taking it out. And that just means saying no to it. Even if you have to send an email to someone and say, I know I said yes, but I have to say no. Here's how you can get it done. I'll give you some tools and help you out, but I no longer can, handle that right now. And that's hard for some people to do because they
Right.
have to keep going on their commitments. But that's usually what I teach. It's like a secret thing. I've done it many times. I've been at a point in my life where I was having a baby, you know, having a baby, going through this really intense course, plus handling 250 programs a year,
Oof.
um, all at one time. And at times I just had to sit down and map it all out and
Yeah.
eliminate the unnecessary. So that's usually what I do.
And the power of no is so underutilized, right? The power of saying, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to stretch myself as thin. And I, but my question is, though so many of us are solopreneurs, right? And so we feel like if I say no or if I don't get this done, it's never going to get done. I'm going to fall behind, and there, of course, ensues the overwhelm. What do you say? What advice do you have to solopreneurs who feel like, they don't have that luxury of saying no? They don't have that luxury of, let me just, slash my list down to two things.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is that they have that luxury because there's a power in wielding the intense focus as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you truly look at your list and you see that there are some things that you really have to say no, you really need to get those things off your plate. Well, that's where the hard work comes in. So I
Yeah.
think that a lot of people feel like, oh, sure, I can write this stuff down and I can eliminate things off my list. But then there's doing it.
Yeah.
And there's having those tough conversations with the people that you committed to, either finding someone or something to delegate it to. There's so many systems of automation, right? As solopreneurs, we can use to be able to make things go so much easier. And it really
Yes.
taking the time to figure out what those are, how it can work in your business, how it can bring you some just contentment on the thing that you said yes to that you now have to push off your plate.
Right.
So it's just finding a unique and creative ways. And we're all solopreneurs, right? So we all can be creative with a way to delicately push that off. And saying no is a power too, because I feel like
Right.
as solopreneurs, get big as you get bigger, as you get more business, there are going to be you're going to probably see a piece of business or an opportunity that you might have to say no to because
Right.
maybe it doesn't align with your ethics, maybe it doesn't align with your business period, maybe they treat somebody that helps you out in your business not so well. um,
Right.
those are choices that you have to make and find ways to have those conversations. And I bet you the most successful people out there that are CEOs, they know how to say no and say no well.
Right. And they say it up front, like they are organized to the point where they look at their calendar and say, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. I think
Mhm,
for me, coming back with the no after I said yes, that
mhm,
would make me feel as if, I'm being unreliable or flaky. So, you know, being organized and purpose, right? Being purpose with your joy. I love that. Um, that you want to experience and being organized from the very get-go,
mhm.
planning from the very get-go, so you can say no from the very start
Yeah. And
if
then
you
you
need
just
to,
feel
or say
good.
yes.
You feel good about
Hmm.
what you're doing and your life and your business because everything's just in alignment and you're not
Right.
accepting anything that causes that dissonance, to
Yeah.
your life. So it truly helps you live within your purpose and helps you live fully. Um, and you'll start to attract things that are just right in alignment with that as soon as as soon as you just speak what you really want.
What's that old age adage? If you plan to fail, or if you fail to plan, then you
Plan.
plan to fail, right? So that
Absolutely.
really speaks to that. And then if you do, you're staying you're saying no, using your power of no. Hopefully,
Mhm.
you won't be a solopreneur for too long, right? Because you're starting to be more productive and do things that really will expand your business instead of overwhelming yourself to where you're staying stuck and overwhelmed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you mentioned that you have a course.
Mhm.
I think that is closed, but
Mhm.
I know that you mentioned you had a course, and I love courses from Black-owned businesses and Black entrepreneurs, because I think we have insights on how to be really scrappy with what we're doing and resources that we can use. And
Mhm.
I think that we're people sleep on us a lot. And so you have a course. What is that name? And can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the course is called Stress Less, Plan at Your Best, and it is closed for enrollment now, but it will open back up in February.
Okay.
And the course is really essentially about ensuring that event planners or anyone that feels the need to have that has a lot of stress and a lot of overwhelm, ensuring that they eliminate that stress. So it's a 7-week course and it's delivered with 5 modules. There's some opportunities for people to do that tough work like we talked about before, have those
Hmm.
difficult conversations, and really, find those automation needs for their lives. And there's opportunity for that. And so we have just a wonderful time. We really go through, again, everything that's on our plate. We evaluate what those are. We reset our expectations
Hmm.
with everyone in our lives, because we have so many expectations that's
Oh.
and you would, even with my husband, he has a certain expectation about how I work from home, right?
Hmm.
Versus how I really work from home.
Right.
Maybe we need to have another conversation to let you understand that at 3 o'clock I'm still working, things like that. So we go through that. And then we also go through just reactivating what our plan is for ourselves and our lives. And then we talk about leadership, we talk about burnout, we talk about productivity.
Hmm.
It's a really amazing course designed to help whoever comes to a course to really decrease their stress and live with purpose, be intentional, cut the crap, right? And
Right.
be able to understand how to operate in that every day. And it also gives you self-coaching so that you can do this no matter what is thrown at you. You just can go through your process. So
Right. I love that, living intentionally. Um, and you mentioned I mean you mentioned several times within our conversation automation. I know
mhm,
how important that is. With some of the things I've been through, automation would have been a lifesaver for my business.
right.
And I love automation. Getting those things set up and the process is set up, though, it can be a headache for some
Uh,
people, especially if you're you're not tech. You're afraid of tech. That can be scary for people. So
mhm.
do you help people with walking through the automations or
Yeah, using
processes? Okay.
automation tools, right, to be able to streamline their businesses
Right.
or just even their lives. Because some people, they don't have businesses, but they, are event planners for other organizations and need to present those opportunities to their leaders to be able to invest in.
Hmm.
So we definitely go over some of those tools. And some of them are, really simple, easy, minimal investment. But like you said, you have to make sure that you take the time to set them up. So
Right.
which is why we have those implementation weeks in there. And those are designed to make sure that you're implementing, that you're
Right.
designing that and doing some of that tough work that needs to be done. So at the end of the course, you have it all set up and you're kind of walking in your purpose, walking in that simplified life.
Love that. Love that. Now, Naomi, is it only for event planners or can anyone sign up?
It's geared for event planners, but
Hmm.
event profession, you have event marketers, people who market, right?
Hmm.
Events all the time. You have people that are in the production. You have a lot of people that touch events. We have people that are in hotels that plan events with their clients and aren't always seen as event planners. So the
Right.
course is open to whoever feels as though that they would benefit from the course. I've designed it to have a narrow focus towards event planners because I know we are one of the most stressed industries in the world. We're in the top 10 of most stressful industries
Wow.
and top 5, right up there with the firefighters and
Wow.
police officers, right, who risk their lives every day. Event planners are just that stressed.
Did y'all
So,
hear that? They
yeah.
are oh my goodness. I mean, that's crazy bananas. I mean, I definitely get it. I definitely
Mhm,
get it with some of the things I have to plan. And
mhm,
I was telling a friend of mine, never in my life, I love it. I love what I'm doing. But at the
mhm.
same time, want to go jump off a bridge because
Yeah.
it's just so stressful. It really
It's the feeling that we have every single day. It's just like, oh my God,
is.
I really love this. I love traveling and I love what I do, but but it can be painful, especially dealing with clients. And we talk about that in the course too, because not all clients are made the same. You have
Right.
some clients that are so appreciative, right, of
Mm-hmm.
what you have to offer, what you have to bring. They listen to all your ideas and blah, blah, blah. But then you have other clients that are just, this is what I want. I need you to move that mountain over there and then just let me know when it's done.
Wow.
And so, and that's where a lot of that conflict comes and stress comes that you need to learn how to
Say
mitigate.
no to. And
Mm-hmm.
say
And
no to.
manage it,
No,
right?
yeah. Know what you're gonna accept and what you're not. Look,
Yeah, and what
yeah.
you are able to accept, because some people can exist in that type of environment and they thrive in that environment,
Mm-hmm.
and some people just can't. So you have to know when to say, I know you want me to do this event, but let's think of another way that we can design this that works for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's with any Black owned business. I mean, one that takes on clientele, know what you're willing to work with and know
Mhm.
what you can't, right? And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to fire a client.
Mm.
We're not a good fit. And then recommend them to another Black owned business. Hey, this one might be a good fit for you, but I'm not. Right. And it's nothing against you or me. We just don't work well together.
Mhm.
Um, what is your what's your favorite productivity tool that you use when it comes to event planning?
Gosh.
Please tell
So,
me because I need one.
so I use
My
Asana.
pins and needles, Naomi. You gotta tell me.
I totally use Asana. I'm
Oh
an Asana
yeah.
ambassador with them. I really love that tool. Um, so it's really a project management tool, whether
Mm-hmm.
you're managing your events or whether you're managing different types of projects and timelines. It's a really great tool to be able to list everything that you have to have done, have a timeline against it, assign team members to it. I'm a solopreneur, but it definitely keeps me organized and in place on all the different projects that I have going on and all my ideas, because I think we always have, oh, I want to do that. I
Oh
want to do that.
yeah.
So it helps to put it all together and all in one place. So I love Calendly as well with
Mm-hmm.
automation.
Right.
That helps me to be more productive too with just booking appointments, because
Right.
sometimes you go back and forth with people. So it's really nice to be able to send them the link and be able to, even when I have somebody that uses Calendly, I love to be able to book an appointment on a
Right.
tool like that. Another one is just good old Outlook.
Oh
Great-
really?
It's a great productivity tool. Your calendar, right?
Right.
It's a great productivity tool because I believe everybody should put their everything in their calendar. And I put my girls' appointments in there. I put
Mm-hmm.
my dentist appointments in there. I put, if I have a date night that I have to go on with my husband, it
You
goes
have to that you have to go on.
or did I get to go on? Excuse me. Yeah, got to rephrase that. But if you put it all in there, then you're intentional about where you're spending your
Right.
time. And I
Right.
feel like when you're intentional about where you're spending your time, everything else that just doesn't fit into your day, it it gets delegated, or you have those conversations with the people that you need to have those conversations with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I was taking a time management course
Mm.
some time ago. I'm a messy creative, and it's really hard for me when it comes to that type of organization. And that's one of the things that was touched upon is putting everything into your calendar, because everything goes in my head, everything. And I don't know how I keep track with it, but the older I've gotten, the more I realize that okay,
Something got lost.
I'm losing some things here. So, yeah, the calendar tip. Yeah, you really need to keep things in your calendar.
You're not alone with that. I have like tons of post-it notes. That's why my business was called Planet on a Post-it before, when it was more just a blog.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I write things everywhere. Everything's all over. So I'm
Yeah.
intentional about making sure it goes into my planner or Asana. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, you've been in this game for, 25 years. What's the first event that you can remember planning and like how did it go? Like because I'm in my first, okay? So I'm interested in hearing your first event and how did it go?
Well, when I was at the Hyatt, so that's kind of where it was started, is they gave me the smaller stuff when I was first like training.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it went well. Everything was in place. I've always been in tune with all of the details.
Mm-hmm.
So all the details were accurate, but I didn't show up for my client. I was at my desk and I kind of was like, oh, okay, yeah, that event probably is going well. Everybody's taking care of it.
Oh,
I got some feedback midday that the client was looking for me and things like that.
oh,
And when I showed up finally, right midday, the client was like, you know, it had a different essence about their
yeah,
voice.
yeah,
They
understandably.
me, it was kind of like, can I please get this type of
Oh
situation.
no.
So I knew that I dropped the ball. I dropped the ball on just making sure that I showed up, that I was visible, that I was there, that I was taking care of them because I was the voice that they heard on the phone when they were planning their details.
Yeah,
That I need to show up
yeah.
the day of the event and just make sure that they are in good hands. Now their event went fine. It's just that I feel like they didn't see me. So
They
that
want to kind of have someone that they knew they can lean on if something did, that you were
did
there and
wrong.
accessible. Right, you were
Right. Or
being
just meet the
accessible.
person that was working with them. So I think from that point, I made a really good, conscious effort to
Right.
be there, to show up, to be the first person that they see and, at the beginning of the day to say, hey, I'm here for you. If you need me, here's where to contact me. But there's all these beautiful people here to help you.
Yeah,
But I just made sure that I was accessible. And I think
yeah.
that's the learning lesson of that first event that I had.
For sure. To show up, to be accessible, to be there
Mhm.
for your clients. Yeah. And I mean, at least that was the lesson that you learned early on, right? It was like when you were first starting. So God forbid it had
Right,
been
it wasn't
later
now.
on.
Now we've
Right.
gotten past that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So uh, there's two questions I like to ask at the end of my interviews. First one is, what's the Black-owned business that you like to recommend to our viewers and listeners?
Okay. Well, I would just want to recommend my newfound friend, Ashanti Bento Hugh.
Okay.
She's with Black in Events, but she also has a website called Diversity Matters. And she also runs an event producing company called Event Mind Pro. So she's very prominent in the industry right now and definitely is doing everything she can do in order to lift her businesses up. But then also she's dedicated to ensuring that Black events, that, Black people that are in the event industry are
Hmm.
recognized and they're
Yeah.
well represented. And she has a partnership too with, that's what Diversity Matters is. She helps organizations that really want to partner with them to be
Uh-huh.
able to come alongside each other, right, in that partnership and in that purpose. So I really
Yeah.
like what she's doing right now. And
Hmm.
so that would be who I would recommend. So
Awesome. Thank
mhm.
you. Thank you. I love to hear other Black-owned businesses saying, check out this Black-owned business. So love
Yeah,
that.
that's
All right.
great.
So before we close, Naomi, what would you say that your entrepreneur power is when it comes to being a Black entrepreneur?
Um, For me, I'm a listener. So I'm big, huge listener. Um, and I feel like that's my superpower. I just like to listen to the little things that people say. I also want them to feel as though that they are being heard, um,
Mm.
and that really has fared well with what I do with planning events. And uh, I'm usually the person who remembers that someone enjoyed this type of wine, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I would have that glass of wine in their room when they first came, to their event and as a welcoming, kind of a welcome gift. But so I just like to listen and I like to
Yeah.
delight and surprise people when it comes to events, putting on events. I like the little details. And sometimes to pick up on the tiniest details, you have to be a big listener. So that would be my superpower.
That is an excellent And it's not a well curated power either. People sorely listen to other people. Um, I can't remember where I was listening. I was I listened or heard somewhere. Let's see
Mm-hmm.
here, I can't remember where I heard it from, but they were talking about how people don't really listen to each other. They stop, right? So they stop talking when you're talking, and they play like we know how to put on the act like we're listening, but we're
Right.
not really hearing or listening to one another. And so they were talking about that's why therapists, right? Therapists,
Mhm.
when people go, like people actually fall in love with their therapist
Yeah.
because they're actually for the first time being listened to.
Listen.
Uh, I would say listening is pretty powerful. Um, Being heard, especially in the space of Black businesses, just Black people, when we are not really heard, right? We're not really acknowledged and heard in the way that we need to be. So that's an excellent, excellent entrepreneurial power to have. Um, definitely something that's rare and not used a lot. So. Man, Naomi, it has been wonderful, wonderful talking to you. Wonderful get to know you a little bit better, and learning about what you do and how you help others plan events, meeting them in the middle, and using your entrepreneurial power of listening. I can't. Just those little things are awesome. Like if I show up at an event and you somehow heard that I love a certain kind of wine. I'm not bringing out what I like, but a certain kind of wine or certain kind of something, and you have that. That's just those little touches mean so much to know that you've been heard. So anyway, it's been very, very, very awesome speaking with you, and I hope we get to do this again.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring you back and talk about some events that you've planned and some things that you've done that we can uplift you and
Oh, thank
put
you.
that shine on you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for being such an excellent host. And I just, this was good. I love being here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. So before we close, is there anything that you like to say, anything that you like to add when it comes to being a Black-owned business?
Um, no, I mean, I just feel like, I'm all about purpose. So I would just say, keep on with what your purpose is. If you have a dream, definitely keep marching towards it, and no matter what, and stay focused, and you will rise. So that's what I would say.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening, watching. This is brought to you by B.A.M Business Academy, the official training site for the Black Entrepreneur Hero. Thank you for listening. Bye.